on the Slip and Dip podcast.
Oh, beautiful, man.
Woo! Almost 3/4 of the way to 100. That is crazy. Kenny Johnson, Matthew Wells, Slipping Their Podcast in full effect, back and better than ever. Got two special guests today. Two of the best trainers of the MMA game, Mr. Jason Parillo and Mr. Javier Mendez, talking and telling us about what they got going on to close out 2018 as they got some mega fights on their hands and some mega stars to get ready for these big fights. How's your weekend, man?
Busy as hell, man. Busy as hell. Didn't get to watch as much sports as I wanted to. I had to catch a lot of stuff on replay and highlights, but it is what it is, man. And there was a lot of action going on this weekend. We had some Bellator, we had some boxing, had some UFC. So I caught what I could, but yeah.
Only thing I caught live was the Eric Anders. Great stop by the referee, because a lot of people don't realize that.
Of course.
you have to get to the stool to close out. It's like you can't get saved by the bell in boxing. That's basically the equivalent. And he gave him opportunities. Like, his mind wanted to get up, but his body wouldn't let him.
Yeah,
I mean, great stop.
I saw after the first one, like, well, even before he even attempted to get up, it was like, man, he is shot. He is just pure exhausted. It wasn't that he was hurt. It was just pure exhaustion. I've seen that in the training room so many times when you're going, like, doing Shark Tanks with guys and everything. It's just like, I just can't get up anymore. It's like, like my body's shot. My system, like, I just need to sit in this corner for a few minutes. And then, of course, that's what you saw after they did the interviews and everything. He got up, walked out of the cage. He was fine. He was just so tired. And then he tweeted out after the fact, I haven't been that tired since my wedding night. Like, he's got some humor in it. But I can tell you
That's
this
great refereeing, though. We always talk about, everybody criticize referees. He gave an opportunity, and he just didn't make it. He had no choice. Yeah. A lot of people kind of jump the gun, or they kind of do like the whole Yoel thing. They mess it up. He let it play out, try to let him go, boom.
Yeah, I mean, this is a short notice fight, too. Like, I saw him in the hotel out here in Dallas for 228, just hanging out, and he's just walking around, and I'm like, oh, he's fighting 2 weeks later. Just it was kind of one of those things where you're going up against a guy that had a full training camp getting ready for all this time, fighting a guy in 2 weeks' notice. More likely than not, the guy on the full camp.
I think it made a big difference. I think if he had a full camp,
for sure, he
could have
looked a lot different if he had a full camp. Yeah. There's no doubt about that. And I know he moved up to 205 for this fight as well, but still. Yeah.
And then on the boxing side, Pops Anthony Joshua doing what he had to do, get rid of Mr. Povetkin. In my book, it don't count until you see Mr. Water.
Yeah.
Look at that crazy one-hitter, that multi-combo. If you do that to Mr. Wilder, I will give you all proper respect and put some respect in your name. Until you bring your ass across this pond, it's just another nobody in my book.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of crazy, though, that boxing has these fights where it's like, not necessarily just a tune-up fight, so to speak, or like, as you'd say, the stay busy fights. Because everybody wants to see Joshua versus Wilder. If this was, UFC, more often than not, that would be the next fight you get. But, it's kind of weird that, you see Joshua just, Anthony Joshua's fighting this weekend. And it really isn't as big of a deal as if it was, a Fury or a Wilder.
Yeah. Well, you think about that streaming service craziness.
Was DAZN?
Yeah.
I mean, what craziness do you mean?
That's not the way to build up the sport. Like, you're not UFC. You're an entity, but you're not the entity, if that makes any sense.
No, I like what they're doing with DAZN because they're having a lot of stuff on there. And in different countries, they'd even show NFL in some countries on there. So they're doing a lot of good things with it. I haven't dove in just yet. I will eventually.
They're going to get your money?
Yeah, they'll get my money for sure. For sure. I mean, they're going to have a lot of good things on there, and I like it. I mean, it's kind of, the name of it is kind of a little weird, DAZN, and all that kind of stuff, but whatever. But yeah, I'll eventually dive into the app and see what it's all about, because good thing is, I mean, they have Bellator streaming live now. There's no more tape delays if you're on this DAZN. No more tape delay Bellator, which is the dumbest thing in the world to have tape delay sports in 2018. But moving on. I mean, yeah, I think it's good. So let's talk a little bit about that event that went on this past weekend there for the UFC. Went down to Brazil. Obviously, we touched on the main event.
I didn't even really. I watched the main event, And
Yeah.
that's about it. Because I was juggling my college football coin.
Yeah.
Shout out to my man Cliff Kingsbury getting that W. I was upsetting everybody. Got me going to Stillwater, putting in work, supporting my friend. College football. There's more than one sports than combat sports people. More sports out there.
So I want to give a shout out to Ryan Spann, Superman Spann, getting a win out there. Had to go all the way down to Brazil to get his first UFC bout. Got the hand raised, and that's what it's all about. Shout out also to Brazilian Cowboy getting it done. I don't know why he was fighting this guy, Carlo Pedrosoli, but it felt like it was a tune-up fight for him. You know?
Yeah.
Like, Alex Oliveira is one of the best at 170. Like, why is he fighting some random unranked dude? I don't even agree with his number 14 ranking. But it is what it is. And don't fight Nogueiras in Brazil, guys. Don't fight Nogueiras in Brazil. I don't care if they're 70 years old.
You're not smiling like Sam Alvey. You over like
I don't care if they're 77, 88 years old. Don't fight Nogueiras in Brazil. It will not be a good night for you, no matter what. So that's some of the highlights I just wanted to touch on real quick. Oh, and Charles Oliveira broke a submission record for the UFC as well this weekend. Most submissions in the UFC. And I think I saw a tweet from Aaron Bronstetter as well that he's over $600,000 in fight night bonuses for his career. That's crazy. That is crazy. So shout out to Aaron Bronstetter for that tweet. I would pull it up right now. But
hey, we need to get Aaron on the show. I need to hit you up. Aaron, you listed. Hit me up on social media so we get you on. Get some extra Canadian flavor.
Absolutely. It'd always be good for that.
But speaking of the show, man, shout out to our fans. But if you haven't, please click and subscribe. We're on multiple outlets and social media platforms. We're thinking about doing something very special for Conor Habib, UFC 229. What do you think we should do, brother?
We're working on some things, right? I mean, we may do a little live thing at a local spot here. I don't know. We got to figure out a lot of logistical things and how it all play out, but we may very well be doing a live event for that card because it's a massive card, massive fight. Obviously, Khabib and Conor. That's what we talk about with Mr. Javier Mendez here in just a few minutes, but just the card through and through, man. There's so many names on this card. And it's going to be a hell of a night, hell of an evening. Ferguson Pettis in the co-main. OSP, Dominic Reyes. Somebody's going to sleep. And, of course, our boy Derek Lewis, the Black Beast, against Volkov. Michelle Watterson, Felice Herrig. Like, that main card is just stacked. I mean,
it's
everybody's
legit.
in there. Everybody.
I'll be watching it. I'll be watching that whole card. I don't get it. You know me. I just don't get pumped. But they did a good job and going to see some good scraps. A lot of moving parts.
Yeah, and both Pettis brothers are on this card. Actually, that's one of those things that they once said that would never happen again. But
and also
the Sugar Show is on there too.
It'd be the reason the first time we get to watch the fights together. A lot of people don't know behind the scenes. We don't really watch fights together so that we can give y'all the real response. So
yeah, see, I like to watch the fights at the house in my own lonesome by myself, so I can focus on what's actually happening. Kendrick prefers to go out amongst the people and watch. I
be going to the show though. I'll be marketing with the Billboard T-shirts.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. Gotta always be promoting, right? ADP. I'm not mad at it, but I like to focus on. I like to listen to the commentary. I like to listen to everything. Can't really do that when you're at one of these sports bars at a B-Dubs or something all the time. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. You know, it is what it is. But, if we end up doing this live spot, it'll be something special. We'll obviously let you guys know early next week. And if we do it, we're going to do it right and make it come off well. Be, of course, live streaming on YouTube. We haven't done a live stream on YouTube in a couple of weeks, mainly because, on a personal note, I'm working on doing a lot of stuff at our new house. We've been working on moving and everything. So next week, the show will actually be over there instead of where we currently are.
But we have a new and improved studio. Give it to y'all.
It won't be complete. It won't be complete next week. It'll be a few months. But hey, it'll still be at a different location. But still the same great quality that you guys have.
Boxing news. Talk to behind the scenes people for PBC. Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury. Book it December 1st. Don't know the location. It will either be in Vegas at T-Mobile or be in LA at Staples Center.
It's in Vegas.
It's alright. It was signed because I talked to the guy yesterday. He said it wasn't signed.
Yeah, yesterday. It's in Vegas. That's what I saw come across the Twitter.
From who?
As a breaking I forget who. I could look
So,
it up right now.
so as a result, it's a two-way part. The person that been put the tweet out, that means Mayweather Pacquiao is not happening in 2019. 2018 will happen in 2019 because that was the thing. Mayweather Pacquiao was trying to get in December 8th. Had they secured that date, the Wilder and Fury could not be because they call this three-week fight window for like mega fights or whatever main attraction fights that they have. That's why Mayweather fought. If you remember, Mayweather and McGregor fought 3 weeks before Triple G Canelo won. That's why that was a big thing. They call it the promotional window. So that's how I know for a fact that Mayweather and Pacquiao will not be happening in 2018. But it is almost slated to happen. I talked to some people from Floyd's camp. It's about 85% done.
Yeah.
It's going to be happening this year. So that's some knowledge to put away in your cap. So when that happens, remember the man that told you the plan.
Oh, I take that back. No, they did say. Well, one tweet is saying it will be in LA. Another one is saying
it's either or. I talked to somebody directly. I stand by my source. It will be December 1st. Book it.
Yeah, December 1st.
I just don't know which day.
Yeah.
I just don't know which location.
Yeah.
I don't know which location, but I know it will be
it's
that
looking
day
like LA.
sure.
It's looking like LA.
So that means Mayweather Pacquiao might fight. That's the reason that it won't be in Vegas because Mayweather Pacquiao will be December 8th. A lot of people don't know that. So remember the man that tell you the plan when Mayweather Pacquiao happens December 8th. That's all. That's what Deontay and them based off on. If Mayweather Pacquiao go down, that's the only holdup.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see two senior citizen fight. One in the octagon, one in the boxing ring within like a 3-week span, bruh.
So I mean, I guess
I already told Matt this. This was the first time for me. Mayweather Pacquiao will go down December 8th if that's the case, and Deontay and them get moved to Staples Center.
Okay, because according to
I didn't talk to my source yesterday, so I didn't tell you that.
According to the report from Dan Raphael, it's either or right now. It's either Staples or Mandalay Bay.
I could do that man's job. He's overrated. Just saying.
Staples or Mandalay Bay. No need to hate. No need to hate on.
Yeah, all depends. Like, there's because there's a lot of moving parts to it. Like I said, if it's in Staples, Mayweather and Pacquiao 2 will be greenlit for December 8th. If it's in LA, Mayweather Pacquiao 2 will get pushed to 2019 if it happens.
Yeah. No, yeah. I mean, that's a lot of facts right there. A lot of facts. That's true. I'm ready to see them both happen. I mean, I'm not as geeked up about Mayweather Pacquiao 2. But I mean, hell, why not? You see Mayweather Pacquiao again? Why not? Everybody's like, oh, I don't want to see it again. I don't want to see it again.
I would say still do 2 million views. They won't do the 4.6, but I still think they do 2 million.
It's still a damn good fight. Why would you not want to see it? Like just because they're not in the primes anymore, it's still a good fight.
Yeah, they still do 2 million views. They just don't do 4.6.
Yeah,
I do not think Khabib and Conor go over 1.5. All these crazy numbers they throwing out. It does 1. It does good. It might do 1.7. It does not do 2.
I think it does 2.
I don't think so.
The press conference did more than the whole Mayweather McGregor press tour.
Yeah, but boxing don't really build off a press conference. That was kind of like their name sealed the deal. It would make people look simple-minded. Like, wow, I'm not trying to talk about people. But I'm gonna talk about people. I don't strip it out how people like, so Dana, why are you using the footage? That's what sells the fight. Like that right there. I got my mom asking me, is that crazy man gonna fight in the cage? She don't even know who he is. She's seen the footage. That's it. That's how big a deal that footage is. It draws you in. So why would the UFC use it? Why would it even be a question? Like people like really surprised or
because it's
thinking
a question.
That's a bad taste. It's entertainment, right?
That's not why the question was asked. The question was asked because initially Dana was so disgusted with everything, and then he immediately throws 180 and is like, "We're going to use it."
I thought that was an act from the beginning. I guess because I was in Brooklyn when he said that. I thought it was an act.
He wasn't. I don't know. It is what it is.
But it sells the fight though. Like, 'cause I got my mom that don't even know nothing about Conor McGregor. Just know he's the guy that fought Mayweather. Oh, that crazy guy fight? It like draws you in. Even people that don't even watch the sport, that's how big a deal it is.
Right. No, like I did for the countdown show. I don't know if this is gonna make the chop or what.
Shout out to my man get his live. It's international TV debut.
I don't know.
All over the world.
I don't know how they're gonna cut it up or whatever. But the way I answered that question was, I thought like they asked me, what I think of the bus thing. I was like, for one, I thought it was disgusting. Like straight up. Like I just said, I thought it was disgusting. But the most organic thing you can possibly ever hope for in terms of promoting a fight. So, of course, it was going to be used. Of course, it was going to be part of the promo. I mean, like I said, like you can't manufacture anything more like that from any press conference or anything like that. Like that was real. That was so real. And of course, he had to go face legal troubles because of it. Like, you can't make anything more real than that. So I don't know if that's going to make the cutting floor, but we'll see how they do it. I don't know. And of course, the countdown show I think comes out next week. So I'm excited to figure out how that's going to come down. And of course, like myself is going to be on there. Jim Edwards is going to be on there. Aaron Bronstetter is going to be on there. Pretty sure DC is going to be on there. And I'm not sure who else. But it should be fun. Should be a fun thing to keep your eyes on for as well. So let's hop into these interviews, man. First up, we'll have Mr. Jason Parillo getting ready to bring Tito Ortiz back to the ring. And
so you said it's his tour.
And of course, Chris Cyborg, Amanda Nunes. A lot of Chris Cyborg talk, a lot of good Chris Cyborg talk from Jason here about her career and that fight and potentially boxing as well. And we'll hop into Javier Mendez, of course, the man training, the striking trainer at Khabib, and his whole take on everything surrounding this fight coming up here in 2 weeks. And that'll be episode number 70 for you guys. Please remember to subscribe on YouTube, like, share with your friends, and any blogs you may be a part of. iTunes as well. Subscribe. Please leave a review on iTunes. 5-star rate us. Helps the visibility out. Just takes a few seconds to do. We would appreciate it very much. And we'll see you guys next week from a different location, but same time, same bat channel. And we'll catch you guys next week. Thanks for listening, guys. We do appreciate it. And yeah, we'll see you then. Peace.
Please welcome back to the Slip and Dip Podcast, one of the best MMA trainers in the world, Mr. Well-renowned Jason Parillo. Thanks for returning to the show, man.
Thanks for having me, fellas.
Man, you got a lot of big fights coming up. You got one of your old pupils coming back, and the top female in the game. All about to be on big stages to close out 2018.
Yep. The last 2 months of this year are going to be pretty busy.
What do you say?
Pretty excited about it.
I'm sorry. What do you say to somebody that said that Chuck and Tito is a show fight? Like, what are they gonna do? They say you're citizens.
Wait, say it again.
What do you say to somebody that's sitting there saying what about that Chuck and Tito is just a show fight? It's like, what are they gonna do? They're senior citizens. What are they gonna do?
They're gonna fist fight, man. They're gonna do it. Hey, they're gonna do it. They're gonna do what all those guys do. They go in there and try to hurt each other. I mean, you could be 20, 40, or 80. At the end of the day, you get in front of a guy that's going to be competitive with you, and you guys are matched up equal. You're gonna get in a fist fight and see who's the better man, I guess. You know.
How fired up are y'all as a team for with Team Cyborg? Because it's like there's not that she doesn't want any fights, but she's been wanting this Nunes fight for the last year. So for her to get it and basically have the opportunity to show that she is that the GOAT, as I call her, the greatest woman of all time. How does that feel? How's it motivated is she in camp? I can tell she's just listen to her that she's got that extra fire.
Oh, she does. You know, and Chris always has a fire to her. I mean, she knows that she is the greatest female fighter on the planet, and she knows that that's a legacy that she needs to uphold and hold on to for a long period of time, and really cement it into the legacy. You know, I mean, you know, so Chris is a full-time fighter. I mean, there's no part-time to her. There's no off time. There's no seasonal. It's all about fighting and getting better and always trying to just stay on top of it. So, yeah, she's super excited, and having an opponent like this makes it more, you know, an easier motivation on my part because, you know, she's hungry. You know, she's hungry to beat Amanda Nunes. She's hungry to prove that she's the best fighter out there, and you know, if people question that somebody can beat her, and if they think that person might be Amanda, then, you know, that gets Chris real excited and up for it.
And what do you guys you know think of Amanda as an opponent? I mean, you know, she's had the belt for a little while now. Do you think this is one of the toughest challenges for Cyborg so far?
Yeah, I mean, well, every fight, every one of your next fights, your toughest fight or your biggest fight or whatever the cliche sayings are now, aren't they? You know, so it is. She definitely is. You know, for me, Holly Holmes is always the toughest fight for stylistically for Chris. What I like about Amanda is she's really right there in front of her. Amanda's not someone that's moving a lot on her feet, and she likes to exchange with punches, which I'm a big fan of. And I know Chris beats her to the punch, and she has a style that's right in front of Chris. And for me, it's any style that is going to be sitting right in front of Chris, they're going to be in trouble.
I want to clarify. I said she had the belt there, but obviously she's moving up to 145 to face Chris in this one. So, I mean, how much do you guys take that into account? That this is a fighter that's fighting at a bigger weight class than what she's used to, and maybe there'll be some different looks that she brings, or maybe her body's going to be different. Maybe she not have the same game plan because of that.
Well, sure. I mean, for me, Eddie, fundamentally, as far as her movement and the way she moves in the fights, I don't know how much she's really going to change for that. Obviously, she's going to have to, she'll put a little bit more weight on her, which is fine for me. I think that slows an athlete up, when they go up in weight. But at the end of the day, I mean, she sorry. I got my dog coming up. um at the end of the day, her style's her style. She's got nothing to lose in this fight, Amanda Nunes. That's our big feat. Really, is just psychologically being ready. Obviously, getting prepared physically, mentally and emotionally. But at the end of the day, she's got to be. Chris got to go out there and just do what Chris does. Chris goes and do what she does. She should not have a problem with Amanda Nunes. And like I said, Amanda Nunes has nothing to lose. And do I think that she's going to try to add to her toolbox and to her game plans? And of course, every fighter, tries to gain every inch they can, leading up to the biggest fights of their life.
Do you think Chris will unquestionably be the greatest woman of all time? There won't be no dispute if she gets this win. There won't be no she didn't do such and such.
Well, you know what? In all reality, I mean, if you know me well enough, I don't really go out there and research and pay attention to all the media, the propaganda, or whatever the hell goes on out in the world. But at the end of the day, I really think that Chris. I think most people know that. I think that's pretty clear to most people. I mean, I'm sure there's always going to be people going against the grain. They're going to be the haters or whatever you want to call them. But there's always going to be that out there saying that she hasn't done this and hasn't done that and whatnot. But I think for the majority of the real core fans and the core people that are educated in the MMA community, they know that Chris is by far the best female fighter out there. I don't know who you can argue with. I mean, the girls out there that we're looking at now, you got Rose, who beat a girl that had a lot of potential to be one of the best out there. I mean? And Rose has been beaten. And my guess is, she, for me, Chris spread has a lot larger spread from all these girls. When Chris fights somebody, very rarely is it. When we fought Holly, it was a 3-1 under. It was a 3-1 favorite. Very rarely do you see a 3-1 favorite when you're fighting Chris Cyborg. Usually it's up to 7 to 8 to 9. I've seen it 16-1. You know what I mean? It goes up high. The spread's really high. So I mean, there's something that the thing that you can the pessimists out there that could argue Chris not being the best out there could argue it because she hasn't had the opponents in front of her to prove how good she is. Well, that just is. Again, goes against the grain because at the end of the day, that's how good she is. It's hard to get the opponent out there that oh my God, this girl could beat Chris Cyborg. I mean, people felt that about Holly Holmes. That's why Holly Holmes was a 3-1. Is because she was that close, and that's still a pretty far spread in the fight game. But she still was that close because people thought that Holly had the potential to beat her. And she fell short, obviously, and. Got beat unanimously, and now we got Amanda who's moving up in weight. And I think a lot of people think Amanda's probably a better fighter than Holly, and she's younger and probably hungrier and, the whole kit and caboodle. But, at the end of the day, Chris is going to be prepared for that test as well.
to give people the insight, me and Mav talked about this, and a lot of people in MMA don't get it because MMA and boxing are completely different. But how much is her training with Clarissa Shields, who's the best female boxer in the world, and is probably about 8 years younger than Chris, helped her change her game at this age? Because like now she does a bum rush. She's, as we saw in the Holly fight, she knows how to close the cage off better than most men. She knows how to sack traps, and people underestimate how big that is. And to me, I think that's extended her career and made her effective, where she don't have to just bang you out of there. She can sit there and break you down like she did Holly.
Yeah, well, she's a really intelligent fighter. She is, and Chris has tested herself in front of a lot of people. And, Carissa Shields is one of them, and Chris got in front of her and showed that she had potential to compete in any area of fighting. That's Chris is. Like you said, you talk about traps, and you talk about this, and you talk about cutting off, and you talk about that. The thing is how many, a lot of fans can, or anybody, analysts, whatever, they can know a lot about the sport. You can know everything there is about the sport, but to actually have the proper eyes to actually look at a fighter, watch a fight, and watch them develop, and watch what they're doing, and understand what fighting actually is. It's not just two people always coming together trying to see who's tougher and stronger and whatever, faster. But there's when you get to the top of the food chain, when you get to the top of the mountain, in any sports, you can be golf. It's really the best minded athlete out there that succeeds. You got to have some intelligence in this game, and Chris is a really smart fighter, and that's another thing that separates her from the pack, if you ask me.
Talking about separating from the pack, she's been talking about wanting to jump over to boxing as well. So is that something that she's possibly gonna, really entertain after this Nunes fight, or, what's that?
Well, I mean, just like any athlete, they're looking for their best options, to capitalize on their career. She fortunately has the ability to make that decision. You know what I mean? If there's something lucrative, there's something that makes sense, if there's something that she wants to challenge herself to do, and she wants it, and she's more passionate about that than anything in the world, then, that's the direction that she'll go, and that's the direction I'll support her to go. But, as of right now, she still has to, put a couple more dents in this MMA world. And, and then where she goes from there, time will tell. It's a hard thing to predict the fight game, 2 years down the road, a year down the road. You're always kind of fight by fight. I mean, but for the most part, she's got a few more fights, in this MMA world that she's got to do. And like I said, it's what I said, before. I'm not going to repeat myself, but she'll go to her direction. She'll go there. She has the ability to go to that direction, and in the boxing community, there's some fighters in the community that have reached out to me, even that are interested in different fights for her. But it's making sense. It's fights that make sense, and financially, and in whatever, in whatever's going to affect her future. So whatever makes sense to affect her future the right way, and the most lucrative way at the end of the day. Because, this fight game, she's been doing it for 15 years or whatever it is. It takes a toll on you, and there's not a whole lot of life after the fight game.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
But you got to make your best decision. So, yeah, do I think she has the ability to do that? 100%. Do I think she wants to do that? Yes, I do. Do I think she's going to do that? At that time will tell on that. Time.
Will you be her main coach still if she jumps over to boxing?
Yes, I mean, and that would be up to her. Obviously, I'm far from the boxing world. In the boxing game, I was a boxer, and that's a world that I, developed in. But obviously, I'm really embedded in the MMA world, and that's where my world is now. But there's not any boxing coaches out there that I see that know, that. For me, it's when you got two athletes together. It's like you got Roger Mayweather. People used to ask me all the time, who's a better boxing coach, Roger Mayweather or Roger Mayweather or Freddie Roach. And this is prior to obviously Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather fight. And I said, well, I'll tell you this. I think Freddie Roach is better for Manny Pacquiao, and I think Roger's better for. I think if Roger got in front of Manny Pacquiao, they would be fumbling fucking idiots together. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if Freddie probably wouldn't be a big fan of Floyd's personality, maybe. You know what I mean? It's there's people got to come together. Do I think that I know what it takes to train an athlete, a boxer, a fighter, any shape of size. So do I understand that? Yes, which is nice is the relationship that I have with my athlete, being Chris Cyborg, and I think, and do I think that she would go out there and take? Chris goes out there and trains with people all over the place all the time. Anyway, she does. She comes back and and we talk about it, and a lot of times we laugh about it. Because what's nice for me is I've always been open to my fighters. Go look, go take a look, go see what's out there. You know what I mean? Go see what it is, because I've been out there. I've been all over the country. Sure, when I trained, I've been and I've talked to you before about this. Kendrick, my coach, was a Hall of Fame boxing coach, and I've experienced world title fights. Being in the corner with world champions, and I've been around the block, man, and I've been in the gyms with Roger and Freddie's and all the great coaches out there in the boxing world, and I'm pretty confident in my ability to coach athletes and coach fighters. So at the end of the day, would that be up to? Would I be? I'm pretty confident that yes, would I be backing up my girl 100%.
And my final question for you is: Do you think y'all can break Amanda mentally? Because we've seen her in the past want to get up out of there, or is it
Say it again?
Do you think y'all can break her mentally? Is that going to be part of the game plan, or just all about getting the hand raised regardless of what happens? Can we see her Amanda
break her?
Yeah, break her mentally.
Do you see me breaking her mentally?
No, they're talking about that going to be the game plan to break her mentally. Since we see her get broken before and went up about that cage.
Are you talking about Amanda? We're back to MMA.
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, good. I think there's more money to be made in MMA than boxing right now for our kid. But to break Amanda mentally, but she's going to break her mentally and physically. I mean, at the end of the day, Chris hasn't always been, in my opinion, because I've worked with a lot of mental warfare type of athletes and fighters. We can go back to Michael Bisping, who's a mental warfare. They all are. Tito is. I mean, even BJ is. But at the end of the day, Chris doesn't. I mean, is there a lot of busyness with her crew on social media? Sure, but at the end of the day, that I don't know how much of that is her personality, to be honest.
Trying to see though who that really is.
Yeah, but I mean, she does her thing, and as far as breaking. See, for me, the way I look at it, just with common sense, I mean, any athlete, there's men fighters out there. When we go to these big fights and they get the UFC number fights, whatever they are, and we're out of fights, I see high level men, men that are men are the legends of sport, men that other men that just look at Chris like, I want to get a picture with her. I want to meet Chris Cyborg. You know what I mean? That's who I want to meet. I want to meet Chris Cyborg. So, there's just a already mystique about her already as it is, which is intimidating alone. That alone is a mind game. You don't what she's done physically, in this sport, what she's done already in this sport is a mind game. And that's what I always preach and try to tell her. I say we don't need to fuck around. You fuck around. You know how you continue to raise your name and to let people know who the fuck you are. You keep fighting, because the more you fight, the more people are going to go, who the fuck is this?
So true.
And it's the truth. You don't need to say. You can close your social media. She can close her fucking social media accounts and just fucking fight. All right, because she's a beast. She doesn't have to go out there and Chris is actually a really charismatic person. She's got a great sense of humor. She's got a great personality. For me, what I used to tell her, her English isn't top her English is actually better than it is ever in any interview, to be totally honest. The thing is there's always a little bit of nerves behind an interview. It's easier to fight than interview sometimes. You know what I mean? Now, isn't it? I mean, not easy, but you know what I mean? Like there's just much more of a natural feeling, maybe. So, it's hard for her personality really to come to play a lot of times. And for me, it bums me out because to me, she's a star. And to me, she could be a bigger star and she will be a bigger star, but, fortunately, but unfortunately, that's going to happen physically. She's going to keep dominating the way she does. And you can't help but know who she is because of how well she fights.
Yeah, no doubt, man.
That's the best way to end it. Yeah, I've seen her in person. Like, I've seen NFL dudes. I was at the ESPYs. And I saw the person behind her Twitter account and her, and I talked to her, took a picture with her. There's NFL dudes. I gotta talk to Chris Cyborg, like legit NFL, like Mercedes.
There you go.
Lewis. I seen them all eyes. Mike Daniels for the Green Bay Packers. They were excited. He thought they were seeing like Michael Jordan or somebody. They legitimately were like to see her. Like, I know exactly what you're talking about. We're at the ESPYs where not everybody did show up, and she was there, and yeah, she definitely is that lady.
She's a real deal. She's a real deal. I mean, she's a special athlete. She really is. She's got a lot going on for her. She's got to keep her mind right and she keep plugging away and do what she does, and she'll continue her success for a while.
Absolutely.
Thanks for your time, brother, and thanks for helping us fight through these technical difficulties, man. Can you help us get her on the show? Because her behind-the-scenes person told me to contact her, and I still have not heard from them directly. But when I talk to them in person, everything's good. So maybe you could be the go-between, because she said she's down to come on the Slip and Dip. It's just we haven't connected. So it's kind of like, can you be that middleman to help us bridge that gap?
She's out of her fucking mind for not going on this show. You guys are the boys.
We appreciate that vote of confidence. We do. We appreciate it.
Yeah, keep the confidence going. Where you guys are in Texas, right?
Yes, sir.
Did I fuck up? Yeah, okay. Right on. Yeah, I will. Hit me up, Kendrick. We'll see what we can do about getting her on here, man, with you guys.
Yeah, we're trying to get for y'all getting hardcore count before the fight, so we ain't trying to interfere with y'all beatdown session.
Yeah, I hear you.
Absolutely.
I hear you, bro. Yep, but I got you. Just hit me up, man. We'll figure it out.
Appreciate it. Friend of the show, Jason Parillo. Thanks for joining us, man.
All right, take it easy.
Please welcome back to the Slip and Dip podcast. I don't know if you got Matt's vote, but he has my vote for the 2018 Trainer of the Year. Trainer Habib Nurmagomedov and Mr. Daniel Double Champ DC Cormier. Thank you, Mr. Javier Mendez, for joining us back on the Slip and Dip. Man, you got a busy schedule, man. How's it feel to be really close to be able to put that exclamation point to a hell of a 2018?
We'll see. I mean, we'll see what happens. We got 3 more months or so to go, right? Before I can be happy about what's going on right now. So far, so good.
Well, I mean, you got 3 more months for the rest of the year, but the real big one's coming up in just 2 weeks. So how's that preparation going for, I guess, you could really call him one of the most dangerous strikers Khabib's faced so far?
It's going great. Preparation is going great. Weight's on point. Sparring partners are on point. Everything's great. You couldn't ask for a better training camp for what's ahead of him. You hit it on the nail. He's fighting the most dangerous striker, most precision striker he's ever faced, and the biggest name he's ever faced. So yeah, no, it couldn't come at a better time.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's. How do you actually, in camp prepare for Conor, because he's like a guy, he's out there, like he does so many unorthodox things. Is there a particular training partner that you guys have brought in to kind of help mimic that, or is it just focusing on getting Khabib to his strengths?
Well, we had to get different sparring partners. Fortunately for us, we had quite a few of the right type of sparring partners he needs, the lefties. We had quite a few, so from Islam, his training partner, to Luis Pena, to Salim, another individual we have, to Fernando Gonzalez, another pro boxer, that's an MMA fighter also. We've had quite a few people they were able to spar him. Sorry, you guys, my dog is barking. So, but it's been good. It's been good.
How much did you take from that crazy press conference the other day, or just another day at the office for y'all?
The press conference, it was very typical of what we were discussing it, that expect him to pull everything, do everything he can do to rile you up. I go, stay relaxed, stay calm, don't get into a fight with him, and if you can do anything, do it more in a joking manner than really anything else, because you don't want to engage with him because that's what he wants. He wants to get into your head, and don't let him. And Habib did that. It didn't work. Conor pulled off everything. I mean, he did things that really you should do, but he's always done that. So that doesn't surprise anybody what he did. He shouldn't have done it, but he did it. And does he care? No. He's going to do it again and again and again. So that's just who he is.
What do you make of the press conference itself, being that it was just in front of the media and that there was no fans there? That was kind of an odd feeling. Do you agree?
Yeah, it was an odd feeling, but you know what? It was probably a good deal for them to do that. I think they probably figured that it would be safer for everybody involved to keep it that way, because to have both types of fans there, Habib and Conor fans, it could have got ugly.
yeah, especially in New York, right, where there's a large Russian population, which probably show up.
You got it. You got it. If you're gonna mess around, New York's probably not the area where they're gonna be able to get away with stuff,
Yeah, no doubt.
Can you give us some insight? Because behind the scenes, I don't think a lot of people realize that Habib and Conor, they're really about that life. This is not a game to neither one of them. But people don't understand that.
No, it's serious. It's serious. It's not a game.
Is it intimidating that each of them have a legit entourage with them?
Hold on. Well, just to be honest with you and be clear about it, I think Habib's more the real individual that says what he does. I think Conor is not. I think Conor's more like the Mayweather type scenario where they just talk and they'll put up to it. But Habib, if you're around him and you listen to him, that's what they do at home. You have an issue with somebody, you go take care of it with them. You meet them, you fight, take care of it, done, finished. So Habib's used to that mentality. The only difference is that now that he's a professional, as a professional, you can't act like that. When before you were a professional, it was acceptable for them to go do some of the things that someone basically says something wrong to you, then you go settle it. You beat them up and it's done. It's finished. It's just a fist fight and it's all taken care of. But now that he's a professional, it's not the same. He's not allowed to be doing that stuff. Habib did get into a situation with Nate Diaz and them guys a while back, and every time these things happen, I'm never around, obviously. And what happened with the Nate Diaz situation, I don't know exactly what happened. All I know is I told Habib, you got to promise me you don't be doing this stuff because you're a professional athlete. People are looking up to you, and and he understood. He goes, no, I get it. But the thing is, Habib doesn't disrespect anybody, but he's not going to take you disrespecting him. If you think he's going to just lay there and let you disrespect him, no, he's not going to. That's his upbringing. That's how he grew up. So if you disrespect him, you got to answer to it. He's not going to. He won't ever disrespect you. But if you do it to him, his attitude is, well, you got to pay for what you just did. If you disrespect him, then you got to answer to me. And that's actually what happened to Artem and him is. Artem disrespected him by saying what he was going to do. If you saw him in person, called him a pussy, and if you ever saw him in person, he's going to slap him. So obviously, you do that interview, and now you got a real guy that's not going to take you bullying him. He's going to come up and confront you, and that's what happened. So Habib is from that mentality, but Conor is not. Conor's not from that mentality. Conor will put up the front, but he's really not. And he may have friends. He might have friends that are real gangsters like that, but not like Habib. Habib's not a gangster, but he's definitely, you can't insult him and think you can just go away and that's it. No, you're gonna have to answer for what you do to him.
Was that crazy that Conor flew into town when the whole where were you at and what you think when you heard about the whole Brooklyn incident when all that craziness happened back in April?
What the hell is that going on? I'm outside now. This crazy shit going outside. Well, when I found out about it, I was in my room and my son Jeremy said, "Hey, Dad, Conor attacked Khabib's bus," and I'm like, "What?" Because I don't go to those things, the press conference and whatnot. I don't really go to them. And the weigh-ins either, since the UFC only has one cornerman and one cornerman and one fighter go now to the weigh-in, so I don't really go to those things anymore. I choose never to go. So when I heard that something happened, I was like, "What?" And then so I go down to see Khabib, and I go, Khabib, what happened? He goes, Conor came, attacked the bus. They wouldn't let me out. I wanted to go out. They held me back, and he goes, "What do you think, Coach?" I go, "I think that's good. I wouldn't have let you out either." I go, "You'd only made it worse." He goes, "But I didn't want to be a sitting duck staying in the bus, and then them coming at me, I felt vulnerable." I go, "Well, it was the right thing to do." So, but Conor doing what he did, I thought, I don't know, it's crazy. I mean, first of all, you weren't thinking clearly when you did that, obviously. I mean, you got to respect why he did it, because, it's like your boy got run up on by Khabib, and so you're out to protect your boy. So I get that. I get that part. It's just what you did that was the wrong part, It's like you should have just text the guy or call the guy and say, "Hey, meet me here. Let's go. 10 on 10, 1-on-1. Let's do it." But the way he did that one, that was not thought out properly. I think that was done more in anger, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's all madness, man. It's all madness, and the fact that they've obviously used that now as part of the promotional package. I mean, it's kind of crazy how it goes from being the darkest moment in the sport to, hey, we're going to use this to promote this fight more than anything. I mean, outside of the one press conference that we had last week.
Yeah, but you knew that was going to be the focal point. You knew that because it's like anything, right? If there's no fire, there's no talk. It takes forever. So the fire, that was a huge fire for MMA. So they got to utilize it. Just like remember when Daniel Cormier and John Jones, they got into a situation where Daniel threw the shoe. Come on, you tell me they were going to use that? Of course they're going to use that. Yeah. It's the fire. It's the fire. And what does the media do, right? I do interviews, and in my interviews I may say something, and then what happens in the media, they put it out there, and they'll put, Mendez says this. And so that's the first that gets you is the heading is, "Oh my God, he said that." But then if you look at the whole thing as it's being said, you go, "Oh, that explains it." But a lot of times you don't get a chance to fully explain what you're saying because the people that are writing are just writing certain clips of what you said. Yeah. And it still creates an interest, right? But it's just what the media does, they kind of twist things, but they don't twist what was being said. They just put it in the context that is being twisted.
Yeah, you gotta get the clicks, man. You gotta twist it a little bit just to get people to be like, "Oh, he said what? I gotta click on this."
Yeah,
now.
Yeah, like I just did an interview with you guys, and there's a lot of ways to chop it up where it makes it look like I'm really talking bad about Conor, but I'm really not. But you can make it look that way. You can definitely make it look that way. Just like saying Conor's no real gangster. Khabib is. I mean that in itself is what? What's he talking about? You know what I mean?
Yeah, no doubt.
Give us some insight, Javier. Do you think does Khabib have to take Conor down to win the fight? Do you see like basically your tickets to do what he do, get him down, got him pound, all the way Conor can win standing up, or do you think y'all can win in a stand up war if it has to be that way since the fight will start standing up?
And so the fight's going to be standing up. There's just no way we're going to go out there and be able to take him down right away. So there's got to be ways that we've been working on to be able to take Conor down. So we're going to have to stand with him. But this is what's going to unfold. Once the fight unfolds and Khabib sees where he feels and what he can do, Khabib's going to do what he wants to do. So if Khabib feels him out and he sees what he can do with Conor, don't be surprised if Khabib stands with him and whoops his butt stand up too. Don't be surprised if that happens because that could be Khabib also. I don't want that to happen because in my mind and the way I'm looking at things, there's just no way we can win it that way. But the fight hasn't happened. So when you're in the fight, the fighter himself knows how certain things are going to happen. But my pick would be no way in hell do I want him to stand with this guy. He's too goddamn good, you know, and that's still what I say. I don't want him to stand with this guy. But will he? You never know. He's going to have to start stand-up, so we'll see what happens. So the biggest point's going to be is what happens when Conor lands on him, which I'm assuming is going to happen. How much damage will it do? How much will it impact Khabib and what he does? You know, whether he gets mad and decides, okay, I'm going to hit you back, like what Daniel Cormier does. You know, Daniel has plans, and all of a sudden you hit Daniel with something, and Daniel says, "Screw that! I ain't taking you down. I'm gonna beat your ass." And that's what Conor does. You know, but Khabib likes to talk to his opponents. So if Khabib feels that he's got things going his way, he may just drown this sucker out and go, instead of maybe finishing the fight like early if he could, he might just let it go 5 rounds and just talk and torture him. You know, he might do that. It's hard to say, you know. What I want him to do is go in there, ideally, you know, shoot in, take him down, and submit him, and then let's call it a day. That's safe. But what will happen? I don't know, because number one, Conor has something to say about that too. He goes, yeah, right, go ahead. I'm expecting you to shoot. I'm expecting you to do this. Can you do it? I'm saying no. So, you know, and you know, everybody that watches Conor knows that he's a brilliant. He's a strategist. He knows how to bait you. And you know, if Khabib falls for the bait, he's going to get checkmate too. You know, because that man knows how to time it. He's got a beautiful left hand, beautiful left hook. I mean, lead hook. I'm sorry. He's fucking good, man. He's a great fighter. I mean, and so we're fighting the great fighters. So, you know, like anything, great fighters do things that other people can't because they're great fighters. And Conor's a great fighter.
How much do you think Conor's going to bring back to the cage now that he's had that training to prepare against Floyd? How much do you think that's going to affect his MMA game?
It might not affect his MMA game whatsoever because he's been training. If you've been watching stuff, he's been training all this time, so it might not affect him at all. If anything, it might have helped him because of the timing in boxing, all the intricacies of boxing. You know, spending all the time learning the sweet science. You know, and he's gotten better. You know, so I think if anything, it's gotten him better. And some people will say, well, you know, he's too much in that boxing mentality. Well, okay, fine. If you had too much to prepare for it, then that was it. Then maybe yeah. But he's been doing MMA. You know, right after the Floyd fight, and that's been over a year. So I don't know if that's gonna, you know, have any impact on, you know, in other words, I would say that's not gonna help us, and he's gonna be rusty. No, I say no.
Yeah, and I wasn't trying to say that it would, you know, be a detriment. I did a little thing for the Countdown show when they were here for 228, and that was one of the questions they asked me, and I was like, I think it's gonna help him more than anything. I think his timing on his combos will be quicker. You know, his hand speed will be quicker. You know, obviously it's not going to help him, you know, when he doesn't have as much takedown defense training. But I think it, like you said, is going to be a positive for him at the end of the day.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you. I think it's going to help him because of the timing and the sweet science. He's gotten better at the sweet science, and you know, once you get to that point in the boxing, when you hit that sweet science spot, you know, I mean, it's a little different, man. It's a little different. That's why a lot of people don't really understand that, you know, boxing is, man, it's a lot to boxing.
Speaking of the Mayweather fight, we know Conor's used to being on this big stage. What do you say to people that are looking at Khabib, like, got question marks, not necessarily doubting him, but like want to see how he responds to this mega stage? Do you think that should be even questioned? Or you think that this is like a whole different stage than which I used to? Like Conor did the whole worldwide press tour with Mayweather and all that craziness. So this is kind of like another day at the office for him. But for y'all, as laid back as Khabib is, this is kind of a little bit different, isn't it?
Well, you know, yeah. The thing is, like I said, you know, he handled the you know, the press conference beautifully. You know, he did as best as he could possibly do. There was a slight little agitation on Habib's part, but nothing at all that I would say, oh my God, you know, you let him get to you. No, I don't think he let him get to him at all. You know, I think he did the best he could do with what was being thrown at him. And you got to consider Conor being pretty much, you know, going nuts like he was and wouldn't let Habib talk, you know, and then hit all those bad points, you know. saying a lot of things that you shouldn't be saying. First of all, you should, in my opinion, but family, you should keep family out. Conor attacked family. You should keep religion out. Conor attacked religion. I mean, you should keep politics out. Conor attacked politics. I mean, what didn't he do? He did it all. Does he give a fuck? No, he doesn't. So, were we expecting that? Yes. Yes, because he's done it before. I mean, does anybody forget what he did to Jose Aldo? Give me a break. He did it there too. So it's very much expected. So Khabib handled it really well.
Yeah, I would agree. I think the way Khabib handled it was a very, almost perfect contrast. To kind of balance out the event because Conor was just so over the top. I mean, obviously he was buzzed off of the proper 12. And promoting that in between focusing on answering questions and then cutting Khabib off, and Khabib just sat there, kind of almost smirking most of the time, and it was a nice contrast. But at the end of the day, they still got to fight, so it really doesn't matter how he reacted.
At the end of the day, got to fight. And then what I had talked to Khabib, we've been talking about it. I talk to him about it every week. I go, I need you to remain calm. I need you to stay relaxed. I go, number one, this is what Khabib wouldn't do. I said, I had some ideas for him to come back at him, and Khabib wouldn't do it. And I said, okay, if you're not going to attack fire with fire, then you need to attack fire with calmness and just smile and just relax. Because if you're not going to attack it back, then you need to do the next best thing, and that's what he's doing, the next best thing, because he's comfortable with that. He doesn't want to attack his family. He doesn't want to attack Conor's religion. He doesn't want to attack any of those things that are the no-nos. He's holding true to who he is. He's not gonna go lower than who he believes himself to be as a person. And I'm not saying just because Conor is that Conor's beliefs are different. You know what I mean? It's just like, we all have different beliefs. That doesn't mean that one person's doing it and the other one's not doing it. So the person that's doing it is a bad guy. No, it's just who they are. Khabib's beliefs are different. So he just won't touch those areas. That's all.
Yeah, no doubt. Let's transition to another guy that's obviously got some big stuff coming up. The double champ, the champ, DC. John Jones coming off the USADA thing. Everybody wants to see, the third fight with John, but he's saying Brock is next no matter what. Where do you fall on that? Do you want to see him fight Brock? Do you want to see him fight John for the third time? Where do you stand on this?
I'm always on DC side. Whatever DC wants. If DC wants Brock, then that's it. This is Brock. For me, that whole USADA thing, I'm just disappointed in how they've handled our sport. There's no straight nothing. I just think they ruined more shows than they've actually helped. All the way around, and it's like there's so many people out there that know how to cheat the system. From what I've been told, that new systems that come out there that something gets in your body and in an 8-hour period it's gone, and then basically it lasts for a month. So what's going to prevent some of these guys from going to sleep, waking up the next morning and then they're going to test clean, and they basically have a whole month in their system. And it's a very commonplace. All the people that they know, they know about it. People like me, I'm not in the no. I'm in the, I hear, so I hear it enough that I know it's true, and to me, it's like, what's the point of them? They've cost so many damn shows. If you think about it, how many shows didn't go through with main events because all of a sudden, last minute, they come in, and put this person out, put that person out. At the end of the day, what have they really done? I'm not for them anymore. I was for them, I'm not for them anymore.
Yeah, I mean,
you don't have that problem in boxing.
Well, yeah, you don't have weight cutting issue in boxing either, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, that's I agree with you. I agree with you on that as well. I mean, there needs to be some sort of reform to that system, and I don't know if it's just completely do away with it.
If they can get it right to be fair all across the board, yeah, no problem. But they're not. So as far as I'm concerned, why even have them there then? Right. If they able to choose favoritism or do whatever they're going to do, what's the point of having them?
Yeah, no doubt. So, when is DC looking to get back in there? When is this Brock fight going to happen? Do you know? when they're looking at targeting that?
From what I was told, well, Brock's in the testing pool, right? So
Yes.
he clears himself in January if he tests clean. So he's in the testing pool. So come January, we'll see if he stays clean, and then we'll go from there. I know DC originally he wants to basically defend the light heavyweight title. That's what he told me. And then after that, fight Brock, and then that was it. So anything could happen, but that's the plan as far as what he's told me. Last we talked about it. We talked about this about 3 weeks ago, so we haven't talked since then about it.
Okay. All right. Yeah, just curious because, there's a lot of rumors floating around about, the UFC 230, which still does not have a main event. Was DC going to slide in there and face someone, whether it be a John Jones or someone else?
What's 230? The one with Luke?
That's the one coming up next month, I believe. I forget where, because I don't have it pulled up right in front of me right now. But let me get there real quick.
That'd be New York. That's November, right?
Yes, of course.
That's no way.
Of course, that's the New York
card.
No way.
Yes. No way. Yeah, no way.
Drawing a blank here.
That's a no. That's a no.
Well, yeah, I could have told you. I kind of confirmed it, especially wouldn't have been at light heavyweight, because when DC was up here in Dallas, I was like, ain't no way in hell he's making light heavyweight. That amount of time.
Yeah, he's not going to make light heavyweight, bro. And on top of that, his hands are still not 100% clear either.
Okay,
his hands are still jacked up. So you have that. Number one, he ain't going to make the light heavyweight in that short period. He needs a good, 9 weeks of having a nutritionist here to help him make the weight. He'll make the weight, but he needs a good 9 weeks. This is not 9 weeks. Yeah. This is a lot less than 9 weeks. And he hasn't been training. He's been, he'll come in once a week, average, if that, because he's so busy. It's not that he's lazy. That man's busy like a mother. He's all doing so many good, charitable things for a lot of people, the wrestling, and oh my God, he's just you know what? He's what every champion should be. Gives back to the community.
Yeah, no doubt, man. He is all over the place. Whenever me and Kendrick try to get a hold of him or whatever, he's busy. He is busy, like you said. When I saw him in Dallas, man, it looked like he had a million things running through his mind. And I'm sure, I don't know if caffeine is the trick for him or whatever it is, but he is running on some power fuel right now. That's for sure.
Yeah, not too many people that are the true celebrities that are as good as that guy. Yeah, I haven't met one. That gives out as much as he does. I haven't met one.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. So obviously we're waiting for that next fight with DC, and of course the big one coming up here in just a couple of weeks, October 6th, or as Khabib says, 6 October. It's going down. It's going down. I can't wait, man.
You wow, boy. That's
I can't wait, man. I'm looking forward to it, man. I don't have a dog in this fight. I just know.
I want to see
classics. Yeah. Want it to be one of those classic matchups for sure. Whoever gets their hand raised. I mean, I'm sure you guys are going to prepare Khabib to the best of your guys' abilities, and which is obviously championship level. So I'm excited for it.
Yeah. No, we're ready. We're ready, and I'm expected to win. But that's what we all do, right? All coaches, they coach their fighters. They're ready and they're expecting to win. What am I going to do? Oh no, we're going to go and lose? No. My attitude is we're going to 100% win. I mean, every coach has to feel that way. Otherwise, why are you taking your fighter in there if you think you're going to lose?
Yeah.
It's not good.
Yeah, we probably would have had to stop the interview if you were like, nah, Khabib's going to get us. I'd be like, hold up, Javier, what?
On a personal note, man, we greatly appreciate your time and you coming on. But most importantly, we hope they put some respect in your name for you to be doing what you be doing. It's a travesty they don't give you your props. All you do is produce these champions.
But it's like for me, it is what it is. I'm happy doing what I'm doing. And if I don't get the praise for it, who cares? I don't care. What I'm doing is producing top quality guys with all my coaches, with Bob Cook, and then my new jiu-jitsu head coach is Ron Kessler. We're doing good together. Rosendo Sanchez that helps with DC, Javier Carvajal. I mean, Hector, Fernandez. I mean, there's a whole bunch of coaches that help me, and their names aren't being out there either. So if their names are not being out there and they're helping me, then who am I to complain? as long as we keep winning, I don't care. That's all I care about is getting my guys to be the best they can be, and if that means getting more titles, then of course that's what I want. We all want that. I don't want to just say, I want my guys to compete. No, I want my guys to win. I want them to be champions. So that's my attitude, and I don't care if I don't get the recognition. It doesn't matter. What I care about is winning the titles.
Absolutely. No better way to say it, my man. Thanks for coming on the show again. We appreciate the time as always. And best of luck to you guys coming up, man. Like I said a second ago, I can't wait for this fight. It's one of the best ones of the year.
Yeah.
And best ones in a couple of years, probably.
I think this is the best of all time, to be honest with you, with all the hype and all the energy. This is going to be the best one of all time.
Yeah, I hope the numbers show it too.
If not from at how the fight went out, just from the energy level, it's going to definitely be, from that perspective, because when you watch and see the weigh-ins are going to go crazy, because there's going to be so many Conor fans at the weigh-ins, and there's going to be so many Habib fans. It's going to be nuts. It's going to be freaking nuts.
Absolutely. Well, we'll be tuning in. I'm sure everybody listening will be tuning in as well. If they're not, I don't know what their problem is. But yeah, we look forward to talking to you after the fact as well.
Yeah, you know the routine.
All right, guys.
Appreciate it, brother.
Yeah. All right, guys.
All right.
Talk to you later. Hey, bye.